guys, welcome back. Last week I got a negative comment from Werewolf0216. From what I'm researching, it sounds like EEOC is just another incompetent, complacent institution that doesn't do anything meaningful to actually help people being discriminated against. Meanwhile, it's almost impossible to find a lawyer who'll take your case, even if your case is very valid and straightforward. Dealing with EEOC is exasperating, but it's what we've got to work with. The process is a mess, though. Such a mess that if I was in the private sector, I'd go hire an attorney right away and bypass the entire EEOC process. Unfortunately, we feds don't get to do that. We have to exhaust all our options at EEOC before we can get our right to sue letter. That took me almost 6 years. When I first went to EEOC, I was hoping that they'd be able to convince my boss to do an about-face and respect my rights. But I quickly found out that the EEOC process isn't designed to stop discrimination. It's an obstacle between us and taking our employer to federal court, and it's a legal labyrinth from hell. I found my way through it and eventually managed to get some compensation. That doesn't change the fact that the system is broken. I don't blame the people of EEOC for that. I mean, the individuals that I worked with during my process were all knowledgeable, professional, and cared enough to do a thorough job. My counselor made an effort to resolve my case outside court. But when my boss refused to participate, there was nothing she could do to force her. My investigator gathered and handed over a bunch of helpful evidence that I was never going to get by myself. But on the other hand, I felt like a lot of the conclusions in her report of investigation were biased in NASA's favor. And I think that's understandable considering how the federal process is set up. EEOC wasn't paying her, NASA was. My EEOC administrative judge listened, he knew the law, and in the end, he gave me as much compensation as he could for the harm that NASA had caused me. I probably got lucky with the people who worked my case at EEOC, and from what I hear from you guys, not everyone does. And I'm sure that EEOC has its fair share of incompetence and complacency. My major frustrations, and the frustrations that I think a lot of us have in common, were systemic problems. First of all, it's way too slow, especially in the private sector. Now, in the federal sector, at least they have Management Directive 110, which lays out the process in some detail. But there are plenty of things that MD 110 doesn't cover. I get questions from you guys all the time that I can't answer because EEOC's never answered them. Why are documents disappearing from the portal? Why does nobody answer the phone when I try to call? How long are they going to let my employer delay the process? Why have I been waiting over 3 years for a hearing? These should not be mysteries. The whole process is set up for attorneys. It's the law that gives us our rights, and this is a legal fight. Most employers provide our perpetrators with an attorney free of charge. We victims have to pay for our own attorney, and that's if we can get one at all. If EEOC was really set up to help us workers, by now they'd have bridged the gap between us and the law, so that we don't need an attorney to have a decent shot at winning. And the process isn't fair. A lot of this is set up in the law. There are different standards for us and our employers. That's just a few of the big problems that I see with the process. And the way it's set up, we are definitely the underdogs. But I'm here to show you that we underdogs can win. With determination, hard work, and a lot of luck. EEOC doesn't make it easy, but it can be done. I'll see you guys next time. Till then, take care and hang in.
There comes a time when the cup of endurance runs over, and men are no longer willing to be plunged into the abyss of despair. I hope, sirs, you can understand our legitimate and unavoidable impatience.